issue of anti-Semitism indeed has contributed to a split in one of Britain's main political parties, as Darren was saying earlier, because 7 Labour Party MPs have resigned to form an independent group, and their message to Jeremy Corbyn was clear: you're the wrong man for the job, and you're wrong on Brexit and on anti-Semitism. Well, for more on this, I'm joined by our London correspondent, Vincent McAviney. So, Vincent, tell us more about what really is behind the split today.
Good evening. Well, this group of 7 Labour MPs that have broken away, they all have a long history with the party, some of them going back decades. They have held various positions within the party, its mechanisms, and served as MPs and shadow ministers and ministers. So it is quite big for some of these people to leave a party that they have been in since their childhoods. And they got up one by one at a press conference earlier today to talk about their experiences and to really hit out at Jeremy Corbyn. And the biggest attack that was made on him was by the MP LUCIANA BERGER. She represents a seat in Liverpool in the northwest of the country. She's only 31 years old and is heavily pregnant with her second child. But she has faced such a level of anti-Semitic abuse that at the party conference back in September, she had to have a police escort. And the conference was even in her home city of Liverpool. That is the level of pressure that she has been put under. And she decided enough was enough. Here's what she had to say about it and Jeremy Corbyn earlier today.
I cannot remain in a party that I have today come to the sickening conclusion is institutionally anti-Semitic. The leadership has willfully and repeatedly failed to address hatred against Jewish people within its ranks. And it is for these reasons and many more that I have made this decision today.
Now, anti-Semitism has been a continuing problem for Jeremy Corbyn. It's said that he's not dealt with it effectively, and he's been accused of racism today, as well as simply not being an effective leader, of breaking away from Labour policy on a range of international issues, such as backing Russia's account of the Salisbury poisoning last year, not listening to British security services. And those other MPs also all got up and said that they would now be forming this new group called the Independent Group. It's not yet a full political party, but they're going to sit together in Parliament and they are going to try and challenge what the government is doing on Brexit, because that's another reason they say they have made this decision now, because Jeremy Corbyn has simply not stepped up to this issue. But LUCIANA BERGER there, who we heard from, she was almost sort of deselected by her local party, and there are calls now, coordinated calls from some in her constituency and other supporters of Jeremy Corbyn today for people, this group of 7, to all resign and run again in a by-election. But so far, they're refusing to do that.
All right, thank you for that, Vincent McAviney, our correspondent there in London. Joining me now to discuss this is John Howarth. He's a British Labour MEP who sits with the SND group here. Good to see you again here, John. All right, so Jeremy Corbyn. So this is all about Brexit and about anti-Semitism as well. How much responsibility does Jeremy Corbyn bear, considering he has been accused of anti-Semitism?
Well, you know, you can't be the leader of a party and not take responsibility for where it's at. And I don't think any of this has been well handled. And I think that there are many circumstances where we could have seen this situation not developing. The abuse that LUCIANA BERGER has had to take would be unacceptable to anyone on any issue, and she should have been better protected. That said, I don't think it's the right call to leave, because how does that put it right? How does that get us closer to a Labour Party position about Brexit?
But John, when she says that she thinks the Labour Party is institutionally anti-Semitic, do you agree with that?
Well, I don't really agree with that, but I do think that great mistakes have been made handling this issue. And I think that they could have been much clearer, much quicker. They could have dealt with the allegations of anti-Semitism against individuals more quickly.
Yeah, but her point is this has been going on for years. She said she's discussed it with the party. I mean, you say she has to try and deal with it.
No, that's not what I said.
No, but as in she needs to fight it, or it needs to be, that it needs to be resolved inside the party. But her point is that she has been suffering this abuse for years, and nothing, in her opinion, has changed for years.
No, I don't think it's been handled correctly. And I think, as I said, LUCIANA should have been much, much better defended against this. A lot of that is online. I don't actually bump too much of this in my dealings with Labour Party members, but people on the left have conflated their opposition to aspects of the policies of the state of Israel in the Middle East, and they've expressed themselves in ways that would be offensive to Jewish people anywhere.
Is that at the heart of this?
That's not acceptable, and that is at the heart of this.
Is that at the heart? What do you think, Raya? Is the conflagration of those two?
I can speak from the perspective of Jewish community because Board of Deputies is our affiliate of our organization. We work very closely with them, and I think that, of course, Jews in Britain were offended when Jeremy Corbyn said that British Jews have no sense of irony. He just put them on the margin of the population, and this was not correct. But there were a lot of things. We have no time now to discuss all this. But what is very worrying, that the Jewish support for Labour Party, that it historically was very strong, now fell down below 10%. You know that historically Jews voted Labour. Like in America, they vote Democrats. So now it's lower than 10%, and 40% of British Jews say that if Jeremy Corbyn becomes Prime Minister, they will seriously think about leaving UK. And this situation never happened, as I know, before.
All right, a very quick comment from you, Darren, on the conflagration that John was bringing up. Is that at the heart of the problem?
Yeah, I think it is. I think also we shouldn't just judge what has happened today just through the prism of anti-Semitism. These MPs are very dissatisfied with Jeremy Corbyn's leadership for a very long period of time on a range of issues. And it's clearly happened, of course, amongst the maelstrom of Brexit. But I think there is a real concern within the party, and it's not just LUCIANA BERGER, but other Jewish Labour MPs as well, who feel that the leadership have really not dealt with this very well.
All right. Well, there's a very sensitive topic indeed that we need to be very careful with a lot of the issues and the terminology that we use.